Good afternoon / good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all doing? And welcome to the British Sim Racing Monday Mazda Championship as we make our way to round 10 of the season here at Oulton Park. We've already seen a lot of action so far this season. Sadly, we couldn't bring you last week's action, which was, I believe, from Snetterton. But we are now back underway. And we'll have to see who'll come out on top. Of course, one of your big names will always be this man, Ben Sharp, in the 24. And there's a huge, huge cluster of cars making their way down through Druids at the moment. And down towards the Lodge corner. 15-minute qualifying session coming your way before we jump on into some action for race 1. For those of you who are new to the show and who are new to the BSR Mazda Championship, the way it works is we have a 15-minute qualifying session before jumping into race 1. Again at 15 minutes. After that, we have a reverse grid at some position between P15 and whoever was the last driver to finish within a lap of the leader. We have that race 2 before having a short break and then jumping on into race 3, which will be again reverse grid. So 3 heats, and we're here at Oulton Park Foster's, the short circuit, which means that Cascades does not exist. You just head straight on down towards Hislops, and you are good to return onto the international layout through Knickerbrook and up through Clay Hill and Druids Corner. So seeing the carts making their way through Druids now. Someone getting very wide, very antsy on the exit. I must admit, I do not like that tree. That tree is getting right in the way of the camera. I think somebody needs to tell the tree that is not very welcome on the run down in towards the Lodge Corner. Lodge Corner, one of the trickiest corners on the circuit, being off camber, and it is very easy to understeer wide. Just have a moment with the rear end if you get a bit too greedy on the power, and it's one of the few corners that you really experience in a Mazda where the back end does want to step away from you and can do so pretty much at no notice. Everything else in the Mazda, you can really just slam your foot on the pedal without having to give it too much thought to it, but not here. I also need to check as well, what is the name of that corner? Because I know the Oulton Park the Oulton Park layout. I know what all of the corners are called, but turn 3, I don't know what it's called. It's Foster's. Okay, that's why it's called the Foster's layout, because that corner is called Foster's itself. Okay, you know what they say, right? Foster's, good call. I'm sorry, I just had to do that. But either way, with that said and done, let's jump back into qualifying. So Ben Sharp has put in a 105.8 so far. Who else is on a lap? Charles, he is in the Super Pro. So we have 3 different categories coming your way tonight. We've got Pro, which is professional, PA, which is Pro-Am, and Am, which is amateur. However, the thing that is really surprising me right now is the fact that this man right here is under a completely different section, and that is just Super Pro. And he, from what I can see, is the only Super Pro. Is this Charles Kellyman? I'm not entirely sure, to be perfectly honest with you. Right, there we go. Fastest laps are now up on your screen. And it is Daniel Bristow who is currently at the top of the standings. Who else is on a lap? Sam Smith can usually pull together something fairly quick. Up to P15 with a 107.2. Not a bad lap. Identical time to what Will Carrington has been able to put through, as Peter Van Gool's just jumped up at 2nd place with a 105.7. What about Alan Toon? Through Cascades, runs a bit wide onto the grass, and that's just going to unsettle the car down into Foster's. Alan Toon will run wide. Keeps it out of the Armco. Ooh. But sadly, I think that's a car that's running into the side of him. What can Fiona Siddons pull out? Never mind, Fiona is in the pits at the moment. No, never mind. She's heading her way down through Clay Hill and into Druid's Corner. Druid's, in my opinion, the most fun corner on the circuit. Double right-hander, you can carry a lot of speed through it. And if you do just get that turn in wrong, it really will punish you. Somebody really needs to cut that tree that is affecting our camera view from Lodge Corner down the straight from Druids. By the way, Fiona Siddons will complete her lap. A 1:07.0. Not a bad lap, actually, for Fiona. Sadly, it is invalidated. And actually, now it's just said it's a 1:08.4. Let's see what Cesare Rizzo can pull through. He's usually one driver who's in the top half of the field. Scott Lazel also having a debut appearance, I think, for this season. My first time seeing him on the list. He's currently down in 25th, not having had set a lap just yet. Carl Hardy, Ryan Main, Richard Scott, Richard Burt, Kip Stevens, all set laps. And of course, Kip Stevens usually in kind of top 10 area. We'll see whether Kip can pull through a lap momentarily. So Cesare Rizzo completes his lap. It's a 1:10.9, so not a quick lap from Cesare. He'll be hoping to improve upon that over the remaining 7.5 minutes of the session. What can Adam Shepherd do in the number 2 car? And I've just realized I don't have trading paints open. I was thinking everyone's liveries looked a tad different to usual. So don't worry, that will all refresh momentarily. You'll see the cars flicker to white, and then it should switch to their actual liveries. I think drivers are really struggling here at Oulton Park just to find a clean lap, to get out of someone else's way once that other person is onto a hot lap. And there you go. I think that's going to be the Trading Paints updating the liveries. Or maybe not. Aha, there we go. I remember the button for making the liveries come up. I think we should just leave everyone with white car schemes. There we go, Adam Shepherd. That's the purple and white Mazda that we were expecting to see. Sadly, nobody else has had their liveries updated yet. Until we switch to them, and then it might eventually remember what the livery looks like. I believe Adam Shepherd is on a hot lap, and currently it is Ben Sharp who leads the standings with a 1:05.584. Adam Shepherd with a 1:05.656. Down into Lodge Corner, using up all of the track on the exit, but I think that would have cost Adam some time on the exit of the corner. And let's see what his lap is across the line. 1:05.831 for Adam Shepherd. Daniel Bristow is on a lap. He's currently sitting in 3rd with a 1:05.779. Just 100th clear of Peter Van Gool, and a 10th down on Adam Shepherd. 2 tenths down on Ben Sharp, who's just put in a 1:05.584. We know Daniel Bristow is quick. Can he close the gap and maybe secure himself a front row start for the first heat race of the night? Looks very clean through Lodge Corner, up the hill, and the shortest line to the start-finish line. If he could have held it a bit tighter either way across the line. What is it for Daniel Bristow? Never mind, I think that was his out lap, so we're right on board for his hot lap. Through Old Hall Corner, use up all of the circuit as he can. Very easy to pick up a track penalty, and it's not very clear exactly how wide you can go. Through Cascades, almost sliding it through down into Foster's. Again, use up all of the track, just tapping the grass ever so slightly. Through Knickerbrook and up the hill. Through Clay Hill Bend. You start to see everyone's livery slowly updating. Into Druids. Long right-hander, holds it nice and tight, rides the curve through the second part. The number 17 car up ahead is going to get in the way. That's Simon Robson coming down in 23rd, and Daniel Bristow will have to pull out of his lap. We'll see what kind of time he can put through. I think he lost about 1, maybe 2 tenths as a result. He will get a tow to come through from Simon Robson. We'll see whether Simon Robson can improve. Currently on a 106.9, not able to. And Daniel Bristow, the lap was invalidated. I think he might have done that through turn 1, Old Hall corner. Now the 57 directly in front of Daniel Bristow, and Daniel's going to have to back on now. 3.5 minutes remaining. Let's see what Jamie Gulliford's able to do. I don't know if he's on a push lap. Current best a 106.2. 2 tenths behind Martin Sampson, who is currently sitting in 7th position. James Birch currently leading the Pro-Am field in 5th place with a 105.8. The leader of the amateur class, I believe it's Simon Robson in 23rd. No, it's pardon me, it's Will Carrington in P17. And Jamie Gulliford's going to back on out of the lap. What about Martin Sampson? He's just set a 106.0, which is enough for P6. 300s clear of Steve Hefford in 7th. That's the AAA of Chris Knox, I believe, in the Rice Krispies car. So up towards the Clay Hill we go. And into Druids Corner. And that's the 25 running very wide. 25 of Scott Lazel in the amateur class. Martin Sampson has Chris Knox right in front of him. Tries to carry as much speed as he can. Through Lodge Corner. He will get a slight tow from the Rice Krispies car. Across the line. And it is only a 106.1. And I have a feeling he just got held up ever so slightly through the final corner. Let's see what Chris Knox can pull through. His last lap was a 106.4, just a few hundredths shy of his personal best, with 1.5 minutes remaining. But actually, I want to sit on board with Adam Shepherd, who is about to complete his outlap and start a new flying lap. Currently sitting in 2nd position is Adam Shepherd, just under a tenth shy of Ben Sharp. And lately, I think in the most recent races we've seen, I think Adam Shepherd has shown that he's quicker than Ben Sharp. Just by a slight amount, but Ben seems to be more consistent and has always seemed to be the man when those reverse grids come around, being able just to keep it sensible, keep it clean, and pick up the championship points. That's why Ben Sharp leads the championship at the moment. A combination of fantastic pace and a lot of consistency. Adam Shepherd has the 87 right in front of him and is not what he would have wanted in any way, shape, or form. This is Diego Gugliari. These two have battled previously over the course of the season. And Adam Shepherd's going to have to go the long way round through Clay Hill. They're side by side into Druids. Well, Adam Shepherd showing that he knows how to overtake here at Oulton Park Fosters. And he's going to need that in his arsenal come race 2 and 3. So Ben Sharp and Daniel Bristow are in the pits. 5 seconds left of qualifying. Adam Shepherd to complete his lap. It's a 105.9. And Diego Gugliari setting a 107.0. So I think Diego would have improved, and I think Adam Shepherd might have improved as well if it wasn't for their, let's say, overtaking during their qualifying laps, their battle mid-quali lap. I think Diego Gugliari would have definitely improved. He lost slightly more than a tenth, I think. Adam Shepherd backing out of the lap. Diego Guglielmi still pushing. 1 minute left on the clock. That's 1 minute for everyone to complete their lap time. And oh no, that is the 25. Diego will slide through. Oh, makes contact. I don't blame him for going for it. Scott Lazel getting in the way, and Diego, clearly unhappy, turns it right into the wall. And that is one way to end a lap. Now, what can Mr. Charles do? The super pro driver. And I don't know what being super pro mean. Maybe it means his name's actually Charles Leclerc. We'll have to wait and see. Is he in the optical? I think this is Charles Kellyman, you know. I want to say it's Charles Kellyman, but I don't know. Because I'm not seeing Charles Kellyman anywhere else on the standings. But at the same time, I don't want to say it's Charles Kellyman when it isn't. So, we'll see. But ladies and gents, that is the end of qualifying. And with that said, we now load on into the race. So, Ben Sharp will be lining up on the front row of the grid, ahead of Adam Shepherd and Daniel Bristow. I can't quite remember who was in fourth. I believe it was Peter Van Gool, followed by James Hefford, I want to say. I know it was James in fifth and Jamie in sixth. I'm not quite sure who the Jamie is. Just trying to run through my... Jamie Gullyford in sixth, of course. Sorry, Jamie. Right, so the revs are beginning to rise just a tiny bit, but we're still waiting for everyone to jump on in. Still quite clearly a few slots missing cars on the grid. You can see between the 51 and the 888 of Chris Knox, I believe there should be a car there. No, I think it might be. We might have everyone on the grid. Either way, we'll hear a distinct rising of engine notes. And there it is. We are ready to get underway for round 10 of the championship here at Oulton Park Fosters. And we are away. How is the start looking for our pole sitter, Ben Sharp? It's all right, but it's not good from Adam Shepherd in the background. He's going to lose a position to Daniel Bristow, and I believe Peter Van Gool moves up into third place, side by side between him and Adam Shepherd on the exit of Old Hall Corner as they make their way down now into Dentons and Cascades. And it is the 39 of Peter Van Gool who has moved ahead, but down the inside will go Adam Shepherd as they make their way through Fosters. Up ahead though, Daniel Bristow right on the rear end of Ben Sharp. As the 79 of Martin Sampson wants to get involved in the battle for second. The rear end of the 51 of David Buki loses it in the background as two run completely wide on the exit of Knickerbrook. But either way, lap 1 of the race, and it is Ben Sharp who leads from Daniel Bristow, gaining a position from P3 on the grid. Adam Shepherd down into third. Peter Van Gool and Martin Sampson complete the top 5. But I tell you what, Daniel Bristow is looking feisty today, and he is right on the rear end of Ben Sharp. Could even potentially have a look heading down into Old Hall Corner, but no, he's going to lift on out on the run into turn 1. Question is, can he get a better exit as Adam Shepherd runs wide, and Daniel Bristow just slotting in behind, and you can hear the engine notes just dropping from Daniel Bristow as he attempts not to overtake Ben Sharp. Just wants to work with your BSR Master Championship leader. Just work with him and pull away from the likes of Adam Shepherd. But at the moment, that is not looking to work at all. Again, a much better exit from Daniel Bristow coming through Knickerbrook as they make their way up through Clay Hill. and towards the Druids corner. Ben Sharp from Daniel Bristow and Adam Shepherd as they make their way through the double right-hander of Druids. Look how close Adam Shepherd is to the rear end of Daniel Bristow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Line astern as Peter Van Gool completes the quadlet. The quadlet of cars. We'll go with that. The quartet of cars. There we go. Quartet. Worked it out in the end. The number 10 gets well out of the way. A lot of damage to the number 10 Master. That is Craig Cockerell, who has dropped down the order. We're seeing the 27 of Shane Piggott not being too far back from this group. And if they do battle, he could see himself in this lead group of cars, the lead gaggle of cars. But Daniel Bristow, I think he needs to pull the trigger because he's clearly faster than Ben Sharp. And I don't think that slipstream here at the Oulton Park Foster Circuit is anything spectacular. And I reckon if he gets past, he should be able to pull the pin. Throws his nose down the inside, has a cheeky look, has a sniff at Ben Sharp as they make their way up the hill towards the Clay Hill once again. Lap 3 of an estimated 14 as we see the 39 of Peter Van Gool looking down the inside of Adam Shepherd as we make our way towards Druids. We'll have the outside for Druids, but can he find the exit speed? And the answer is no, just too wide and unable to find the grip, unable to find the traction. And this means Martin Sampson is now joining into the party and now is no longer a quartet of cars. It's a quintuplet of cars for the racer lead. And not too far behind is Shane Piggott in the dark 27 Mazda. On to lap 4 of 14 then. And that is a Mazda coming out of the pit. Is that the number 10 car that we saw entering the pits not too long ago of Craig Cockerell? But take a look at this. Adam Shepherd right on the rear end of Steve Hefford as we make our run down towards Foster's corner for the 4th time today. Ben Sharp is slowly starting to pull a lead. Of course, when we talk about setups, you don't know what kind of tyre pressures everyone are running. Maybe Ben Sharp has taken slightly lower tyre pressures, so it's taken a bit longer for his tyres to warm up. But as a result, they will wear out less and potentially be quicker come the end of the race. Of course, this is all speculation as Adam Shepherd has a sniff on the inside of Daniel Bristow into Druids, but again, has to slot in behind. Ben Sharp now has a 4/10 lead over Daniel Bristow. And that is the largest the gap has been all race long. Adam Shepherd still on the rear end of Daniel Bristow. Apologies if there are battles happening lower down the order and we're not seeing them, but we want to keep an eye on this as that's Adam Shepherd going down the inside of Daniel Bristow as we start lap 5 of the race, but he's unable to make it work. And now look at this, Peter Van Gool is going to be joining in the party. Look how close he is to the rear end of Adam Shepherd. He has to be careful because Martin Sampson behind will be looking for a sniff, looking for any opportunity to find a way through the P4 man of Peter Van Gool. But all of this is playing into the hands of Ben Sharp, who now leads by nearly a second over Daniel Bristow and Adam Shepherd in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Look how close Adam Shepherd is to Daniel Bristow. He does not want to work with the 12 car. He wants to get past as quickly as is humanly possible. And on the run down towards the Lodger corner, will he be able to have a look? Switches to the inside. Is he late enough on the brakes? I think he might very well be. And he moves up the inside, but he just does not have the grip compared to Daniel Bristow on the outside. And now Peter Van Gool closing in onto Adam Shepherd as well. And they're going to be side by side as we start lap 5 of the race. And round the outside will go Peter Van Gool. Does he have the grip? Does he have the momentum? He'll get squeezed out wide by Adam Shepherd, but it's still side by side on the exit of Old Hall corner. And Peter Van Gool surely has got the move done as we enter into Cascade side by side. Peter Van Gool ahead on the run down into Foster, but Adam Shepherd desperately tries to hold the inside, but it is not desperate enough because that is Peter Van Gool up into P3. Ben Sharp now leads by 6/10 over Daniel Bristow. Now that Daniel Bristow has had some breathing room from the drivers behind us. Oh no, Adam Shepherd almost runs into the back of Peter Van Gool and he has to lift on out. Has to avoid the brakes and as a result he drops down the order. Will he fall behind David Buki? No, he won't. There's a big gap between Shane Piggott and David Buki. Now he just needs to close back into Shane Piggott lap 6 of 14. And the pressure really coming on to Adam Shepherd here. We know he is quick, but he has to close in what is a 4-second deficit to Shane Piggott. we'll see whether he has the pace to do that. For those of you tuning in, this is the BSR Mazda Monday Championship. I'm Yusuf Milky Cyril bin Sahel, and I've been broadcasting these races since I think about round 4 of the championship. We sadly missed out on last week, which was at the Snetterton 200, I think. As that's a moment for the 39 car in the background. Peter Van Gool on the grass on the exit of Foster's corner. And Martin Sampson is very close to the 39. I'm not quite sure if these two are teammates. I don't think they are. They have similar liveries in the sense that they're both red, but aside from that, I believe they are fairly different. And you can see Shane Piggott closing in into this two-way battle. So we have a two-way battle for the lead. We have a three-way battle for third. Adam Shepherd will be trying to close in onto Shane Piggott and joining in the fray, but we'll have to see. Martin Sampson gets very close to the rear end of Peter Van Gool, wants to have a think about a move into Old Hall corner, but too far behind this time around. We'll get a much better run though through turn 1, and might have a think about going side by side through Cascades, but no, too far back. Into Cascades we go, and down towards the right-hander of Foster's corner. Seemed to be a much better run in the background from Shane Piggott. Daniel Bristow is not letting Ben Sharp pull away with this. In fact, he's going to have a look around the outside as we make our way through Clay Hill and towards the Druids corner, side by side between the 24 and the 12-year championship leader of Ben Sharp. But Daniel Bristow down the inside of Druids. Ben Sharp tries to hold it around the outside and does so successfully. They'll be side by side, bumper to bumper on the run down towards the final corner, Lodger corner. Down the inside goes Daniel Bristow, but again Ben Sharp holding around the outside. Daniel Bristow learning the pain that Adam Shepherd had to feel just a few laps ago, but they are still side by side. Ben Sharp with more momentum will be able to reclaim the lead on the run down towards Old Hall corner, but Daniel Bristow has shown that he has got the pace to at the very least pull alongside Ben Sharp. Something's happened in the background because Martin Sampson is well ahead of the likes of Adam Shepherd, but Adam Shepherd's up to P4, so I'm not quite sure what's happened to Peter Van Gool. He's really dropped down the order, and according to my screen, he is in the pits. Either way, we're going to be focusing on this battle for P2, well, I should say for P1. It is technically for P2. Daniel Bristow so close to the rear end of Ben Sharp, but will not be able to pull alongside. Start lap 10 or 14. Still Ben Sharp leading from Daniel Bristow with Martin Sampson in P3. Adam Shepherd now 2.2 seconds behind Martin Sampson, lapping almost half a second quicker than the third place driver. Shane Piggott further second behind. We're not quite sure what happened, but there was an incident previously between the 59, oh pardon me, I believe it was, just trying to find, I believe it was the 39 of Peter Van Gool, and I want to say the 27 of Shane Piggott, both of whom are currently in the pits, pretty much out of this race. And that was in the battle for third with Martin Sampson. Martin Sampson has seemingly come out of the incident cleanly. Although that being said, Adam Shepherd is now 1.6 seconds behind Martin Sampson. It took another half a second out of him on the previous lap. So we will still be seeing a battle for that final podium spot. P3 battle is not done yet, and of course we have this battle for the race lead. Ben Sharp has held the lead from Daniel Bristow. Pretty much all race there has been one lap where the two ran side by side for a majority of it, and Daniel Bristow closing in onto Ben Sharp. Ben Sharp will go defensive to the outside. It goes Daniel Bristow into a larger corner. He will find a better exit and will pull alongside now on the run towards Old Hall Corner. Side by side, Ben Sharp to the outside, Daniel Bristow on the inside. And Ben Sharp this time won't try to hold it around the outside. He's going to look to find the switchback, and he gets a much better run as we make our way down the hill towards Cascades Corner. But it's not a good enough run. Daniel Bristow has well and truly claimed the lead of the race. And you can see Daniel Bristow just having a bit more confidence in the car through Foster's, using more curb. And we saw this a little bit in Donington through the final chicane, where the drivers really had to let the car run over the curbs and go up onto two wheels. And at least on this lap, it seemed that Daniel Bristow was more confident in doing that than Ben Sharp. But we are about to start the penultimate lap of the race. And Ben Sharp is closing in on Daniel Bristow. Does not go for the full send into Lodge Corner. Slots him behind. Adam Shepherd now 7/10 behind Martin Sampson. We'll keep an eye on the battle for third. Lap 13 of 14, 1 minute 20 left. So that is a big moment for Daniel Bristow, who loses the rear end massively through Cascades. Through Fossils we go, and it does look like Daniel Bristow is coming under immense amount of pressure from Ben Sharp. Through Knickerbrook and up the hill we go. Through the Clay Hill bend, and Ben Sharp looks to the outside and down towards the Druids. This might be his final chance. Side by side, there's a tiny bit of contact, but Ben Sharp round the outside of Druids has pulled off the move. What a fantastic move from your MX5 Mazda Monday Championship leader. Daniel Bristow will have to slot in behind as we approach the final lap of the race, and Ben Sharp leads from Daniel Bristow, and Daniel Bristow has one more lap to find a way through. He's going to have a cheeky little look down the inside towards Old Hall Corner, and he will be able to pull alongside. There's contact between the two. Daniel Bristow loses the rear end momentarily, but Ben Sharp crucially holds on to the lead of the race. In the background, Adam Shepherd has moved up into third. He's found a way through on Martin Sampson for P3, but Daniel Bristow slotting in behind Ben Sharp for now. Can he find a way through? It's going to be down to finding an exit out of Lodge Corner, or pardon me, an exit out of Druids, and looking for the inside down into Lodge Corner. We're going to ride on board now with Daniel Bristow. He's close as we make our way through Clay Hill. It is just Druids and Lodge Corner remaining. And it is a much better runner from Daniel Bristow through Druids. He's surely going to send it down the inside into Lodge Corner. This is his last chance. He's from really far back, and he'll throw it right down the inside of Ben Sharp. But will he be able to find the exit speed? This side by side as they make their way up the hill to the line. And it is neck and neck, but I believe it's Ben Sharp who takes the win of the opening race here at Oulton Park Fossils. Daniel Bristow will claim a second, and Adam Shepherd takes a P3 ahead of Martin Sampson, Shane Pigger, Steve Hefford, Sam Smith in P7, Ralph Cullinan P8, Andrew Jepson in 9th ahead of David Buki, I believe, and Roger Morton and Chris Knox. But wow, was that a race and a half? So, to confirm your final results then, for race 1 of the night, Ben Sharp takes a win ahead of Daniel Bristow, Adam Shepherd in 3rd ahead of Martin Sampson, Shane Pigger, Steve Hefford in 6th ahead of Sam Smith and Ralph Cullinan, David Buki in P9 ahead of Carl Jacquelet in 10th, Roy Vivak in 11th ahead of Will Carrington. Kip Stevens down in 13th. James Birch in 14th. Richard Burke in 15th. Jason Morris in 16th ahead of Michael Seal. Johan Grimon. Andrew Jebson in 18th. And Chris Knox and Roger Morton complete the top 20. And I believe, on that note, we're going to have to do something. I'm just trying to see who was on the lead lap. I believe it was Jason Morris in 21st. So, let me find my OBS. So guys, it is time to do something that we call spin the wheel. For those of you who have seen it, you know what's coming. For those of you who haven't seen spin the wheel yet, what that means is we get this thing up and we select certain numbers. So it's always from 15th is the minimum. And we are doing it to the last person on the lead lap, which was 22nd and Jason Morris. And then what we do is we spin the wheel to find where our reverse grid is. Hi guys. I really need to reorder this. P20. P20 grid reverse. So, what that means, ladies and gents, is a person who finished in 20th will be starting first in the race. And that is Fiona Siddons, I believe. So Fiona Siddons will start on pole with Roger Morton alongside. And with that said and done, we are going to jump on out of this iRacing session and wait for the new lobby to be created. Just going to see if anyone's waiting for an interview. No, no one is. So, we're going to be heading into a short break, and when we're back, we'll be bringing you race 2 of the night. And race... I've got this. I don't got this. Race 32 of the season. That might be right, it might be wrong, I don't know. But we're going to be back in just a short bit.
Good evening, Milky. Yes, good, mate. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was taking a little while. Basically, when I went to go set the session up, all my old settings are gone, so I had to re-go through every little thing. It's really annoying. But good to have you back, mate. Yes, that 10-hour stream sounds a bit crazy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we jump on into what is going to be a rolling start, it seems, which is not something I was expecting, I'll be honest with you guys. But we have a rolling start nonetheless. For those of you joining in, this is the MX5 Monday Night Championship for the British Sim Racing League. We had round 1 of the championship, or I should say round 1 of the night, not too long ago, and now we are ready to jump on in for race 2 of the night, round 32 of the championship. You can hear the revs rising, so we should be getting underway momentarily. Fiona Siddons will lead the way from Roger Morton and Chris Knox. Andrew Jebsen in 4th, as Chris Knox really burning up his tyres. His tyres may not be enjoying that at the end. How long is he going to do a burnout for? It's a long burnout, and I think Michael Seal got a huge amount of smoke into his front end. But Fiona Siddons from Roger Morton, Chris Knox surely has to be one of your favourites to be securing the win tonight. Kip Stevens down in P8. And also don't count out Adam Shepherd down in 18th. Ben Sharp, Daniel Bristow, Adam Shepherd, your top 3 from the opening race of the night. Martin Sampson was quick. He's down in 17th. But to be honest, my money for this race is on Kip Stevens, Andrew Jebsen, or Chris Knox. Let's see then, because the pace car is into the pits and we are underway again here at Oulton Park, and it's a really good start from Fiona Siddons, and Roger Morton will actually pull alongside down towards turn 1. And that's the moment for Fiona Siddons, who runs wide, which means Chris Knox will claim the lead here at Oulton Park. Fiona Siddons dropping down all the way to P4 as the Matthew Logistics car of Roger Morton moves up into 3rd. Michael Seal up into 2nd place, and you can see Andrew Jebsen in the RAF car on the rear end of Fiona Siddons' 44 car, searching for a way through up into P4. Richard Burke and James Birch are currently sitting in 6th and 7th, just behind in the other Matthew Logistics car, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, Roger Morton searching for a way through. Oh, Michael Seal, that's in the incident in the background. Andrew Jebsen making contact with Fiona Siddons. They'll come back across the track, and that's 56 and 72. Running in, Ben Sharp collects into them as well. And that's a 5-car pile up. The 55 gets collected by the 99 nearly as well. Might be another incident coming through as everyone tries to just fly past the cars that are all in a huge heap. Ben Sharp involved in it. The 55 of Kip Stevens involved in the incident too. Andrew Jebsen dropping all the way down the order, but either way, leading the race. I'm just trying to find, as my timings have gone absolutely crazy. Apparently Jason Morris is leading the race, which I do not believe. I'm trying to find who was leading. It wasn't Fiona Siddons. Okay, I'm sorry guys, I have no idea who is leading the race right now. Chris Knox leads the race from Michael Seal and Roger Morton. And it is a 3, pretty much nose to tail, as Adam Shepherd is now up into P7 with Aston Wigley in a P8 closely behind. Jamie Gulliford in P10 as well. The Chris Knox coming under a rather immense amount of pressure right here from Roger Morton. Michael Seal gets so close to the rear end of Chris Knox. I think he sees Rice Krispies. I think Michael Seal's a fan of Rice Krispies, and he wants to be gobbling it up a whole as we start lap at 3 of 14. Sun is out at Oulton Park. A few clouds in the sky, but it is a beautiful day here in the West Country. I believe Oulton Park's in the West Country, right? It's not too far from Manchester, I want to say. I think a bit north of Manchester, if I'm not mistaken, Lancaster kind of area. Or I might be completely wrong, who knows? If anyone knows exactly where Oulton Park is, feel free to let me know in the comments. For those of you who are currently watching live on YouTube. For those of you who aren't watching live on YouTube, well, say hi anyway. Chris Knox is starting to pull, and I just want to see, oh, Richard Burke is very close to James Birch. No, he's not. How far back is Adam Shepherd? Very far back. Look at the damage on Adam Shepherd's car, and now Aston Wigley closing in. You can see that Adam Shepherd is really struggling, really losing a lot of straight line speed due to the damage on that 19 Mazda. This will be costing him. Jamie Gulliford's not too far behind, and now Ralph Cullinan is going to have a look down the inside of Aston Wigley, but he's going to compromise his own run as that's James Morris, Peter Van Gool going down the inside into Old Hall Corner. Jamie Gulliford will drop it down into 10th position, but he's actually going to be forced to let Jamie Gulliford back to us. I think he got a corner cut in the process. Either way, Peter Van Gool is a quick. We know he was in that battle for 3rd place in the opening race of the day, and he can really climb up the order. Adam Shepherd is somehow going to have to defend up for his life with a severely damaged car. Severely damaged might be an understatement as well, as Aston Wigley goes down the inside into Druids. Adam Shepherd runs wide, he touches across, and he's forced to back on out. Side by side, it's the 32 of Jamie Gulliford, makes it 2 abreast and 2 by 2 with a 39 of Peter Van Gool trying to join into the party. Adam Shepherd, oh, that's a contact between Adam Shepherd and the 13 of Ralph Cullinan, and the pair of them will spin around. I think Ralph Cullinan very smart to just let the car roll out of the way as quickly as possible. Pardon me, that wasn't Ralph Cullinan who was spinning, I believe. I don't know that. I think that was Jamie Gulliford actually who got caught up in it. Aston Wigley though up into P6. Ralph Cullinan closely behind with Jason Morris down in 8th, and I'm not quite sure what happened to this man Peter Van Gool, because he was right up there, and I think he had to take evasive action somewhere down the line. So it was Peter Van Gool and Adam Shepherd who were the 2 cars we saw spinning through Lodge Corner. So Michael Steele has actually found a way through on a Chris Knox, but here comes Ralph Cullinan on Aston Wigley. And he'll go down the inside into Druids Corner, just enough space left by Aston Wigley. Ralph Cullinan slots in behind as Jason Morris closing in the Matthew Logistics car. Daniel Bristow not too far behind that either. To Lodge Corner, and Aston Wigley holds on to 6th, but we know Daniel Bristow is probably the quickest driver in the top 10, maybe even in the top 15. I mean, Peter Van Gool is there, but Peter Van Gool, I believe, has a damaged car now. Look how quickly Daniel Bristow has closed on in. Remember, Daniel Bristow finishing the opening race of the night in P2. Having crossed the line pretty much side by side with Ben Sharp, and Daniel Bristow will sweep past Ralph Cullinan up into P7. And now Aston Wigley and James Birch next. So it's Ralph Cullinan next, and Daniel Bristow joining in. So Daniel Bristow had got past Jason Morris, I do apologise. Into Druids. Ralph Cullinan very close to the rear end of Aston Wigley. We'll keep an eye out for Daniel Bristow, who might actually just make this 3 abreast heading down in towards the Lodge Corner. He's going to back out early on the brakes, and we'll just focus on getting the exit speed. Daniel Bristow still having to slot in behind Aston Wigley, but Daniel Bristow will have the better run. Does he have the slipstream? Can he pull alongside as we start lap 7 of 14? 8.5 minutes remaining in the race, and you can see Jason Morris joining into the fray as well. And Daniel Morris goes down the inside into Old Hall Corner and moves up into P6, 2 for the price of 1. Aston Wigley holding on to P7 with Daniel Bristow down in 8th, and James Morris closely behind in 9th. But Daniel Bristow now has clear air and can start to push. He's currently 7 seconds behind James Birch. And I reckon he should be able to close that gap down. James Birch on the last lap of 107.2, Daniel Bristow 106.5, and that was with Daniel Bristow trying to overtake the driver. So he might be finding that he's closing in by over a second a lap to James Birch in P5, who's actually right on the tail of Richard Burke. And I believe that's Roger Morton, who's currently in 3rd. Richard Burke, though, going down the inside. He will get Richard Burke on the outside, and James Birch up the inside and up to P4. So these 3 battling is really going to help the likes of Daniel Bristow out. Chris Knox has actually re-overtaken Michael Seal for the lead. Apologies, Michael, if you're watching this back and wondering why we haven't really been keeping a close enough eye on your battle. It's because crazy things have been happening for P6. And I've been keeping an eye on that, rather maybe mistakenly so, as Ralph Cullinan close again to Aston Wigley on the exit of Old Hall Corner. But again, having to slot in behind as Aston Wigley touches across on the exit into on the entry to Cascades, and Ralph Cullinan around the outside, and finally Ralph Cullinan is clear of Aston Wigley, who runs wide on the exit of Foster's, and Jason Morris will follow Ralph Cullinan through. Oh no, here we go again. Richard Burke will be having a look down, or pardon me, that is James Birch having a look down the inside of Roger Morton through Druids, but he's not going to be able to find a way through. Has to slot in behind. Maybe could have a look down into a larger corner, as that's the number 2 of Richard Burke trying to join into the fun. Roger Morton holds on to the position as Richard Burke runs wide on corner exit, but somehow James Birch has found the corner exit speed and has been able to sweep past Roger Morton for 3rd position. So, Daniel Bristow is now 2.7 seconds behind Richard Burke. He's gained by over a second on the previous lap. Oh, that's contact. Contact between your 2 racer leaders. And Michael Seal, will he pass Chris Knox, or will he let him back through? I think he's going to claim the position. I looked to the side for a moment. I looked to my timing screen for a moment. And when I looked back, I saw the 2 cars making contact. So I'm not quite sure who was at fault for that one. But look at this, James Birch is closing into the battle, slowly but surely, just 2 seconds behind at the moment. Richard Burke is half a second behind Roger Morton. No, he's a little bit more. So Chris Knox, can he have a go at Michael Seal? Lap 9 of 14, just under 6 minutes remaining here at Oulton Park. Foster's. And Michael Seal really does not get a good run coming through Lodge Corner. This is going to give Chris Knox a good chance that he pulls alongside on the start-finish straight. He'll have the inside heading down towards Old Hall Corner. So we start lap 9 of 14. And Chris Knox in the 888 Rice Krispies car has moved up into the lead of the race, has reclaimed the lead of the race from Michael Seal. James Birch closing on in. But I tell you what, Daniel Bristow has an outside chance of winning this race. 4.5 laps remaining. As oh no, what has happened to Chris Knox? He catches it with a 360. Wow! Chris, that was a save and a half, but down behind this battle's going on. Daniel Bristow has gained a position and moves up into P3, but crazy how Chris Knox lost the back end that late through Cascades is beyond me, but what a save for Chris Knox. Sadly though, it has caused a disaster for a few other cars, but Chris Knox, wow! That has to be the best save I have seen of the BSR Master Series so far. And Daniel Bristow will pull alongside Roger Morton for P2 as we head down towards Lodge Corner for the 10th time in the race. And Daniel Bristow is up into P2. Chris Knox is just 2 seconds up the road. Nearly 3 seconds up the road. Can Daniel Bristow close that kind of a gap down? Who knows? It is going to be tight as we're seeing the 88 of James Morris having a look down the inside. Sorry, that's going defensive as James Birch closes in. Ralph Cullinan on the rear end of Richard Burke as we make our way down towards the Cascades. Ralph Cullinan in the 13 round the outside of Cascades. Is up ahead. I saw a whole plume of smoke coming up, and I think that was Chris Knox making the same mistake again as, oh no, that's the 86, 88 of Jason Morris really sending it down the inside, and there's 3 abreast behind us. They make their way into Nickenbrooks. Ralph Cullinan up into P4 with Richard Burke hot on his heel. Jamie Gulliford in P6 ahead of Jason Morris and Aston Wigley. But Daniel Bristow for the race lead has closed in through Druids. He's right on the back over Chris Knox, who has lost 2 seconds on this lap alone. Daniel Bristow will move to the inside. He'll switch it to the outside, searching for any way through to claim the race lead. Chris Knox holds on to the lead for now as we start lap 12 of 14 here at Oulton Park Fosters for round 2 of the MX5 Monday Night Championship. And Daniel Bristow looks to the inside. He switches to the outside. Chris Knox will go defensive down into Old Hall Corner. Daniel Bristow with the switchback. Chris and Knox losing the back end, but Daniel Bristow can't pull alongside just yet. Here we go into Cascades. This seems to be Chris Knox's weak point. He carries the momentum. He doesn't lose the back end this time. Daniel Bristow, later on the brakes, looks to the inside, but the door is slammed shut by Chris Knox, and Daniel Bristow has to slot in to second position. Roger Morton closing in on this battle, and is soon going to become a three-way battle for the lead of the race. About to start the penultimate lap. Daniel Bristow has a time. He just needs to pick his moment, spot on, and find a way through. And he needs to do it before Roger Morton closes in, otherwise he's going to have to attack and defend at the same time, and we all know how badly that can go. Here we go on the back straight. Oh, Chris Knox slams the door shut, goes right into the Armco, across the wall, and Chris Knox's race has gone down the drain. Roger Morton gets caught by the incident somewhat, but Chris Knox only has himself to blame for that incident, turning across Daniel Bristow super late. As Michael Barry in the 675 trying to keep Michael Seal behind. We saw Michael Seal dropping down the order not too long ago due to a previous incident. And now we're seeing Jamie Gulliford, I think that is, on the rear end. Sorry, he's running side by side with Richard Burke, who's desyncing like all craziness. But Chris Knox, from hero to zero in a matter of laps. And Chris Knox had the P2 spot in the bag. But he over-defended, he turned across Daniel Bristow, and he paid for his sins. Ralph Cullinan then on Roger Morton for what is now second position in the race, side by side then, as we make our way through Clay Hill and down towards the Druids. Ralph Cullinan will have the inside, and following him through goes Roger Morton. Oh, pardon me, that's not Roger Morton. I believe that's Jamie Gulliford who's followed through. And now Jamie Gulliford will be wanting to look for the second position as well, round the outside, as we head into Lodger Corner for the penultimate time today. Or the penultimate time of the race, I should say. And Jamie Gulliford under significant pressure from Roger Morton. And we'll ride on board now with Jamie Gulliford on the outside. We'll look for the switchback, and he's going to find the switchback as well, side by side, as we make our way down the hill towards the Cascades. Surely, this is Jamie Gulliford, and he's got the job done before the turn-in point of 4 Cascades. Jamie Gulliford up into second. Ralph Cullinan will drop down to third, and he's got Roger Morton, Richard Burke, and Jason Morris hot on his heels. Lap 14 and the final lap of the race. Daniel Bristow will surely claim the lead. You can see the number 2 car of Richard Burke popping in and out. But Ralph Cullinan is not done with this battle just yet. Can he find a way through? Not into Druids. And Jamie Gulliford will hold on to second for now. Ralph Cullinan is surely too far back to send it into the final corner. I'm sure Jamie Gulliford is well aware that ascent is about to come through. But no, nice early turn in, late on the brakes. Ralph Cullinan, or pardon me, Jamie Gulliford will hold on to P2. Daniel Bristow claims the win. Jamie Gulliford will come home in P2 from Ralph Cullinan. Roger Morton will take P4 ahead of Richard Burke and Jason Morris. Jason Morris just pipping Richard Burke to the line. Michael Barry will take a P9 ahead of Michael Seal and Peter Reed. But that was a crazy race and a half. A really, really crazy race to say the least. But that was intense to say the least. What a battle. What a battle. I did not think that we'd be able to surpass the excitement of race 1, but somehow we've done it. So, your final order for race 2, Daniel Bristow takes the win ahead of Jamie Gulliford, Ralph Cullinan, Roger Morton in P4 ahead of Jason Morris and Aston Wigley, James Birch in 7th ahead of Richard Burke and Michael Barry, Michael Seal in P10 ahead of Peter Reed and Adam Shepherd, Will Currington in 13th ahead of Martin Sampson, Steve Hansford and Roy Vivart in 16th, Craig Cockrell in 17th, ahead of Simon Robson, Mr. Sir Alan Toon in 19th, Johan Grimon in 20th ahead of Steve Hefford and Ben Sharp. So, 27th to 15th is our magic turny number. So, ladies and gents, 15th to 27th. Let us see what the spinny wheel has in store for us. Spin the wheel, spin the wheel, spin the wheel. And it's 27. There you go, guys. Not a fix. P27 it is. So, on that note, I don't think... But, wow. Crazy race, and on that note, we're going to be heading into a short break. And when we're back, we'll be bringing you the final race of the night, live and uninterrupted to the very end. Stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gents. And I believe... Oh, Mr. Roger Morton, can you hear me?
Hello, mate. Yes. How are you?
Yeah, not doing too badly. My voice could do with a break after the insanity that was race 2. How did your race go?
Yeah, well, good, mate. Yeah, it was a bit wild, but yeah, we're good. I think Chris was having a bit of fun up front, wasn't he? He certainly made it interesting.
Yeah, Chris was involved in all kinds of carnage. Honestly, I can't really remember where anyone finished, aside from the fact that Daniel Bristow won, so you're going to have to remind me and the viewers what
I
happened in the race.
finished. Well, I was running third most of the race behind Chris and Michael, and then after them two collided, Michael suffered, didn't he? I was then running second, and Daniel didn't take long to come through. I ended up finishing fourth when Chris went off the track. Well, when Daniel and Chris collided, and that it sort of hit me and put me a little bit of damage on my back end of it. So it was sort of a bit slidey coming out of corners. But yeah, I finished fourth in the end. Nice photo finish with my teammate over the line, so it was good.
Did you I've been receiving reports from Chris Knox that apparently he was doing 360s through cascades very frequently.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see any of them?
Yeah, I've saw pretty much every one of them. Yeah, I think he was throwing handbrake on. I think he likes his handbrake turns, does Chris, from previous experience.
I didn't even realize you had handbrakes in the Masters.
Yeah, yeah.
And any chance that you're going to be trying to take the Chris Knox line through cascades?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I missed that one. It was definitely an interesting one.
Well, Roger, congrats on your result in race 2. Do you know where you're going to be starting for race 3?
I've no idea. What was the reverse?
27th. Yeah, 27th.
Oh, so I'd be right near it back then. Yeah, I do. I don't mind it back anyway. I prefer the playing about with people anyway at back.
Well,
Getting involved with carnage are normally part of it normally. So fill them all at home.
You can watch the craziness going on.
Well, in the first race, in the first race there was I don't know exactly what happened, but I ended up swerving past it and then doing a spin myself. But lucky enough, I didn't take any damage. But I was like miles behind them. But I still finished. I think it was 19th and ended first race. So it was all right.
Well, best of luck in the final race, and I hope to speak to you after that.
See you, mate. Thank you.
No worries at all. I'm just messaging Chris Knox at the moment. Right. I'm just laughing right now. I'm just talking to Chris Knotts, and I'm just telling him that it was his fault for the incident with oh. I'm just telling him that it was his fault for the incident with Daniel, and apparently, according to Chris, he has evidence to show otherwise. So I look forward to seeing said evidence. Right, so we should be jumping on in to the final race momentarily, and you are listening to the smooth, dulcet tones of Milky Cereal here on BBC Radio, Milky Cereal TV. On today's show, we've had 2 Grand Prix, both at Oulton Park. One was a reverse grid, and the other was a grid set by qualifying. Ben Sharp was able to take the win in one race, with Daniel Bristow claiming the win in the other race. And now we look to see what will be happening in the final race of the day. We hope you've enjoyed listening to Milky Cereal's dulcet tones here on Milky Cereal Radio FM. Actually, how did that sound? How did that smooth talking Milky Cereal? Maybe I should use this voice. I think Milky Cereal could use his voice to be an announcer, to talk about the new film that is coming to your screens live here on Fox News. At 10, it is Frozen 5. We're still making Frozen movies because we can't let it go. We're just making more and more and more. Soon, we're gonna become the new Fast and Furious franchise with like 25 different films. Frozen. The Frozen series is like Fast and Furious, but if you're fans of snowmen instead of cars. Okay. I right now I've literally got this piece of paper and I'm like trying to balance it like by putting it down on like. Yeah, it really isn't working. Sorry. Breathe the wrong way. Could you imagine going to an airport and doing that? Like, just being in, like, public and, like, having a coughing fit because you, like, breathe the wrong way or water, like, goes down the wrong pipe. Everyone's going to think you're contagious. I swear someone would brandish a flamethrower. I need to go to a shop, right, with, a camera and have a huge coughing fit. I'll probably get, like, you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if the police were called. Like, holy damn. Right then, what are we waiting for? We're waiting for drivers to jump on in. I think I need a haircut. I definitely need a haircut. So how many drivers do we have out on circuit? Not enough. Not enough. At the moment, we're just in warm-up before the third and final race of the night. And we will be jumping in momentarily to said race. We have already had 2 excellent races so far today. Was that a 360 or was that a spin from Jamie Gulliford? Okay, right. Where is Chris Knox? I want to see Chris Knox do 360s through Cascades. Chris, I'm watching you. I swear he's like trying to light up those rears. We saw Chris Knox wheel spinning at the start of race 2 because it was a rolling start. I believe that's Daniel Bristow on the rear end of Chris Knox. Oh, dearie, dearie me, Chris. That one wasn't a good 360. I'll give that a 1.8 out of 10. 1.8 because he did a 180 rather than a 360. The car control from this man is insane. Right. Now that you've got your tyres overheated. Oh, let's go, Chris. But he's not carrying any speed into Cascades. No! Why would you proceed? We were watching Chris Knox doing 360s. You ruined the show for us, Ben. Terrible, Ben. Advancing the session right at the wrong moment. I'm hurt. I'm so hurt. I just wanted to watch 360s. I can't do it anymore. I'm sorry. I honestly wish I could do acting at some point. That would be pretty fun. Right, so Mr. Charles Super Pro, man, is lining up on the front row of the grid. And that means one thing. We get to see now why Charles is called a Super Pro driver. Fiona Siddons lines up in second ahead of Dave Buki and Kip Stevens in P4. Kip Stevens will be hoping for a much better race than he had previously. Ben Sharp in P5 surely has to be one of the favourites to take the race win. Martin Sampson down in 13th. Adam Shepard in 15th. Who else do we have? Well, revs have risen and we are underway. Charles leads the way from Fiona Siddons. And that's a very good start from the 79 in the background. I wonder if that was potentially a false start. The 51 of David Buki will sweep around the outside of Fiona Siddons as that's a 51. David Buki's lost the rear end through turn 1 and it's caused a huge pile-up. He catches the 61's rear and that's one of the Matthew Logistics cars almost making it through. But what a pile-up through turn 1. I think this is NASCAR. Is that the 68? I'm sorry. I just want to sit on board with Will Currington. He was driving with 3 wheels for a bit. Either way, Fiona Siddons going up the inside and moving up the order slightly. I believe Kip Stevens has climbed up the field. Charles Kellyman leads with Ben Sharp hot on his heels. Kip Stevens in P4 with Steve Hefford separating Ben Sharp and Kip in that third place position. I hate this tree. Can someone please cut down that tree? It's like so annoying. Either way, battle at the front of the field. Steve Hefford on the back of Ben Sharp and Charles who leads the way. I still think that's Charles Kellyman. I'm not sure, but I'm going to go with Charles Kellyman. So if it's not Charles Kellyman, I do apologize. And if it is Charles Kellyman, yay me. However, Steve Hefford getting really close to the back of Ben Sharp as we make our way now down towards Cascades. Ben Sharp hot on the heels of Charles Kellyman as we make our way through Cascades and down towards Foster's corner. Ben Sharp too far back to have a shot down the inside. Only lap 2 of 14, don't forget. And we only have 17 drivers on the lead lap. I think about 15 cars were in that huge pile-up on the exit of turn 1 that was all caused by David Buki losing the rear end, or potentially he was hit, we don't actually know. But Ben Sharp will go round the outside through Clay Hill and down the inside into Druids, will take the lead of the race. Steve Hefford is going to try to follow Ben Sharp through, but Ben Sharp at the moment giving slipstream over to Charles Kellyman. And down the inside, Steve Hefford will have to go into a Lodge corner. Who's the latest on the brakes? And it will be not Charles Kellyman, because Steve Hefford sweeps past and it takes the lead of the race. And we can see Kip Stevens not too far behind in a similar liveried BSR Mazda, just like Mr. Ben Sharp himself, but Ben Sharp has better colours because Ben Sharp has blue and Kip Stevens only has purple. Either way, Kip Stevens has closed in on to Charles Kellyman. who is not living up to his name of being a super pro driver at the moment. Kip Stevens will be searching for a way through in the battle for P3. Tell you what, Shane Piggott is closing in on to Michael Seal. Actually, pardon me, I think Michael Seal was just able to get through then. Let's ride on board with Kip Stevens as he tries to close, oh pardon me, that's Charles Kellyman. Let's run on board with Kip Stevens as he closes on into Charles Kellyman. Roy Vivark not too far behind in the Pro-Am class. Well, the top four, all drivers separated by about half a second. Apart from potentially Charles Kellyman, who's really on the back of Steve Efford. Steve Efford runs wide through Old Hall corner. Through Foster's. It's a good run for Kip Stevens. Just taking a look further down, Chris Knox currently in 9th. Into Druids we go, riding on board with Kip Stevens in the 55 car. Very close to Charles Kellyman. But can he find a way to slot past? It's very close on the exit of Lodger corner. He's just got to slot in right behind the optical car. He's too far behind it to really get alongside it down into turn 1. Ben Sharp, I think he's slowly pulling away from Steve Efford, but the gap is still 0.6 of a second. That is Chris Knox up ahead, who is let's say driving very entertainingly. I want to see the 360 through Cascades. That's the only reason we're looking at this right here. He's just drifting it through every lap. Either way, Chris Knox coming under pressure from Michael Barry and Jamie Gulliford. As we see Simon Robson and Shane Piggott just up ahead. Adam Shepherd's actually up into P6 at the moment. Michael Barry's very close to Chris Knox. He'll have a look down the inside into Druids. No, just too far back. As that's Kip Stevens going down the inside of Charles Kellyman into Lodge corner. And he'll pick up the position nice and cleanly. And now he can try to close in up to Steve Efford. But Charles Kellyman not going to let this one go without a fight. Looks to the inside, but no, has to slot in behind into Old Hall corner. As Kip Stevens does run wide. The 14 of Roy Vivark. Or Roy Vivek, pardon me, closing in. As Kip Stevens. Oh, pardon me, Chris. Chris, you right there, Chris? Chris? Trying to go to the international circuit layout? What is Chris doing? Let's just hope he doesn't take anyone out. He hasn't taken anyone out yet. But I have a feeling we might be seeing Chris Knox taking someone out. He just cut all the way through the grass of Cascades and then rejoined the circuit. Oh, Chrissy boy. He takes a lot of curb through Druids. I am keeping an eye on the battle up at the front and seeing if Steve Efford is really closing in or not. Adam Shepherd is now 2 seconds behind Roy Vivark. And let's see last time round. Roy Vivek, 106.8. Adam Shepherd, 106.2. He's closed in by over half a second to the P5 man. And Roy Vivek is right on the tail of Charles Kellyman here. But he's too far back to have a look down into Foster's. Oh, Chris Knox is on the rear end of Michael Barry. Let's ride on board as he's going to go down the inside as we make our way down the hill and into Cascades. Chris Knox on the outside. Not going to be able to find a way through and has to slot in behind Michael Barry for now. Jamie Gulliford closing in this three-way battle for P9. What about Roy Vivek? He's on the back of Charles Kellyman. Can he have a look at down into Lodger corner? It's not too far back. No, he's going to slot in behind. What about Jamie Gulliford? Looking for the better run through Druids. We're on lap 7 of 14 here at Oulton Park. For race 30 of the championship. What's happened to Ben Sharp? Okay, Ben Sharp just DC'd off my timing screen for a bit. Roy Vivek still closing in onto Charles Kellyman. What happened to Adam Shepherd? Adam Shepherd's binned it. And is that Roy Vivek having found a way through? My timings are all over the place, and I think Roy Vivek has made a mistake, potentially, as Ben Sharp coming under pressure now from Steve Efford. Kip Stevens not too far behind. And my timing screens have just gone absolutely bonkers right now. I have no idea who is where. So just trying my best to keep an eye and work out who is close to who was. I think Chris Knox and Michael Barry. Oh, this is a three-way battle through Druids. Chris Knox on the outside. Michael Barry will fly through. And Jamie Gulliford will follow Michael Barry through. And Michael Barry will cover the inside. But does he cover it well enough? Chris Knox on the outside. Down into Lodger corner. They're both going to go wide. They both lose the back end. And this all contact. Contact. Chris Knox goes upside down. And Chris Knox upside down skates. Loses the wheel. And hits the pit entry Armco. That time, I definitely don't think it was Chris Knox's fault. I think that was just a racing incident with both of them being on the grass. But that is a shame to say the least. I do apologize for laughing somewhat. But recently, I've just been seeing a lot of action, and Chris Knox doing 360. So, either way, towards the front of the field, Ben Sharp and Steve Hafford battling for the lead of the race, with Kip Stevens not too far behind. As we start lap 10 of 14 here at Oulton Park. Tell you what, Steve Efford is quick. He is so quick. Kip Stevens is not too far behind either, but Ben Sharp is really struggling to pull away from these two. Down into Foster's we go. And Ben Sharp holds on to the lead for now. Adam Shepherd's all the way down in P20. As here comes Steve Hefford round the outside through Clay Hill, and he'll have the inside down into Druids. Can Ben Sharp hold it round the outside? Should be able to carry more momentum, and they will be side by side on the back straight, on the runner down towards the Lodger corner. Lap 10 of 14 here at Oulton Park. And they do go side by side through Lodger. Does Ben Sharp carry more momentum? I think he does, and they're going to be side by side onto the start-finish straight. The 72 of Steve Hefford on the inside, and Kip Stevens watching all of this unfold. Slots in behind, but still side by side. Ben Sharp around the outside through Old Hall corner, and they are still side by side, neck and neck on the exit as they make their way down the hill through Denton's and into Cascades. Steve Hefford round the outside of Cascades will claim the position surely, but Ben Sharp still there, puts a wheel onto the grass, but he does not lose the rear end critically. But Steve Hefford claims the lead of the Grand Prix, and Steve Hefford takes the lead of the race, but Ben Sharp not done yet. He is so close to the back of Steve Hefford. He's going to look around the outside through Clay Hill, and this will lead to the inside for Druids, but these two neck and neck all lap along. Steve Hefford on the outside, just like Ben Sharp was in the previous lap, and Steve Hefford will be able to carry more momentum and should be able to run clear, but Kip Stevens joining into the party. Ben Sharp will slam the door shut and will have the inside down into Lodger corner. Side by side still between the pair of them. Kip Stevens just watching this unfold. These two have been side by side for pretty much 1.5 laps. And Ben Sharp will have the inside, but no, Steve Hefford is far enough ahead to get a clean run down into Old Hall corner. But he runs wide. Does he run it too wide? Ben Sharp Slots right back in the background. You can see Roy Vivek desperately trying to stick. Not too far behind these three, but Steve Efford into the lead of the race. Ben Sharp right behind. Oh, was that a moment for Ben Sharp's rear end? It certainly looked like it. Ben Sharp around the outside then of Druids, lap 12 of 13 as we look to start the penultimate lap of the race, and Ben Sharp has been able to carry the speed round the outside. How, I do not know. Kip Stevens again has a look to the inside, switches back to the outside. Ben Sharp on the outside of the Logic corner, won't be able to stay ahead of Steve Hefford, who maintains the race lead. These three have been at it for, what, 3 whole laps now? And Kip Stevens surely is not going to sit behind this entire final lap and a half. He's surely going to want to be taking advantage of these two battling to gain a position for himself. Oh, Ben Sharp again having a huge moment with his rear end on the exit of Foster's corner. This is going to bring Kip Stevens closer than he has been all race to the back end of Ben Sharp. As they make their way through Clay Hill and down towards the Druids again. Steve Hefford goes defensive. Ben Sharp on the outside of Druids. Steve Hefford touches the curb and it unsettles the car. It means Kip Stevens will join into the party. Gives the rear end of Steve Hefford just a slight little tap. It will push Steve Hefford forward, but Ben Sharp reclaims the lead here at Oulton Park as we make our way through Logic Corner for the penultimate time in the race to start the final lap here at Oulton Park. A lap of 14 of 14 has now begun. And Kip Stevens in third. Ben Sharp holding on to the lead of the race. Kip Stevens runs so wide through Old Hall Corner, looking at the back of Steve Efford, searching for a way through on the Momo 72 car. Through Cascades, Kip Stevens does not get a good run, but Steve Hefford does, still on the back of Ben Sharp. We've seen Ben Sharp lose his rear end on the exit of Foster's before, but not this time around. Ben Sharp will hold on to the lead and stretches his gap to 0.3 of a second. But is it enough? Steve Hefford seemingly too far behind, and I think Ben Sharp has this race in the bag, just needs to keep it tidy through Druids. Make our way through Clay Hill into Druids. Ben Sharp clear. Steve Hefford will not be able to search for any way through in Druid's corner, and now it is just Logic corner. And is there anything that Steve Hefford can do? I don't think there is. Ben Sharp runs clear into Logic corner for the final time tonight, and Ben Sharp will take his second win of the night. Races 1, races 3 go the way of Ben Sharp. Steve Hefford will claim P2 ahead of Kip Stevens. Roy Vivek takes a P4 ahead of Shane Piggott, who is down in P5. Simon Bristow a further second behind in P6. And Daniel Bristow will take a lonely P7. Ahead of Sam Smith down in P8 with Jason Morris not too far behind in P9. Roger Morton will be able to defend Martin Sampson to the line. And Roger Morton will claim P10 ahead of Martin Sampson in P11. Charles Kellyman down in P12. And Fiona Siddons will claim P13 ahead of David Buki in P14. Michael Barry takes, Michael Barry will take P14 ahead of, Sir Alan Toon in P15. And that, ladies and gentlemen, has been all the races here from Oulton Park. Now, I'm just going to see if anyone is about to jump on into an interview with us. Well, that was definitely some crazy, crazy action. Right, let's just see if anyone is going to be joining us for an interview. Oh, right. My hair is everywhere. I really need to cut my hair. It's so long. Like, that is too long for hair. Hair should not be that long. Maybe I should grow a ponytail. Do you guys think I should get a ponytail? Be nice and long. Oh, wow. Today has been exciting, to say the least. Right. Oh, right. Right as I say that, Mr. Ben Sharp joins us.
Hello, Mr. Milky.
Hello indeed. That was, well, a pretty fun race, I guess, from you. You managed to get the position in the end, and you had a very nice battle with Steve.
Oh yeah, it was a mega battle with Steve. I thought at first I'd broken away, and I thought, oh, I'll just settle down. And then I looked in my mirrors, and he was coming back at me very quickly. And I was knew we were in for a good race at that point.
Was it scary every time you had a look to overtake Steve round the outside of Druids? Kip kept just showing his nose down the inside.
Not particularly scary. I thought I could potentially go down to third, but I know that Kip and Steve are both very fair racers. So I knew I was in safe company to try some good moves, and everyone's going to leave room for each other.
Well, it went right down to the wire, so that's 2 races that have gone to the wire for you. And because we didn't get to ask you after race 1, I might as well ask it now. That battle with Daniel Risto in race 1 was insane.
Yeah, that was one of the best battles I've ever had. That was incredible. We raced for every little inch of track, and it was. I thought he had me, to be honest. He's so good on the brakes.
It seemed that going round the outside of Druid seemed to be your kind of your speciality.
Yeah, it was just a move I tried by luck. I was trying more thinking that if as long as I can stay on the outside, I'd have a good run for the last corner, like trying to go around, just trying to push them into a defence or go for a cutback. And then the first time I did it, it sort of pulled off, and I was like, hold on, that could be a genuine good place to try and have a move now.
I'll keep that in mind in case I race tomorrow. And
yes, it's very hard to try and do that and leave room for someone. It's not, I would say, for the faint-hearted.
It almost feels like trying to go side by side with someone at any place in Monaco, really. But
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you got to know that the person alongside you is a fair racer. I think that's the most important thing, because it only takes them to just lean out on you, and you're screwed basically. So it takes a lot of respect to race like that, really, with your fellow racers.
okay. Also, final question that I wanted to ask you in race 3: what on earth happened in turn 1?
What you mean between?
I think there was about
between Fiona and David Buki.
Yeah,
I think that's what started it. Hold on, I am in the session right now still.
I do remember it was David Buki. I know he was on the outside of Fiona. I don't know if there was contact.
There was definitely contact. So I think what happened is from looking at it, Fiona's just gone that little bit deep and just gone into the side of Dave. Like, I don't think there's anything. It was one of those first corners.
Yeah, cold tyres.
Yeah, cold tyres. Maybe not expecting Dave to hang around the outside, which he's in his right to do. But you know, he can catch you out on cold tyres and everything. So, and then to be honest, I managed to get safely through with Kip and Steve. And to be honest, I didn't really see much after that.
I'm just watching it back on the stream now. I just want to see how crazy this got. Because it was huge.
Yeah, oh Christ. Okay, yeah, I hadn't seen any of that, to be honest. I was so busy tunnel visioned, I guess, on my own race. But yeah, it shows that one little error in judgment from one person, which nothing bad, can just have that. One of those first few corners can cause so much damage to everyone. Oof.
Well,
Yeah,
By the way,
that's
Ben, congrats on 2 wins tonight. Are you now officially champion of this season for Monday night?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I've
Okay.
not really been looking. I have never won a iRacing league, so this would be my first. This is my first. So every time I've been
Oh,
doing it, work's always got in the way. So this is the first time I've actually had work not get in the way.
okay. You
So,
are currently 300 points ahead of Kip coming into this
oh,
round, I think. So,
okay. And then there's how many's left? If there's 60 points for a win,
it's just what,
uh,
next week and the week after?
yeah. So there's 2 weeks. There's
So 360 is
160.
available.
Ooh, so it's close then.
Yeah, I don't know if iRacing has already added on your points. I think if it hasn't, I think you are champion. If it has, then well, you just need to take like 30 points next race, and you've got it. I think.
Okay, mega. Well, hopefully, I don't know if I'm even going to be here next week. I might be in Austria working. I'm waiting for a phone call,
Okay.
basically. But if not, I will be making sure I'm back here for the last week because it'd be nice to finally get one under the belt.
Well, we look forward to seeing that then. Ben, thank you for joining us, and best of luck in 2 weeks' time.
Well, thank you very much. I've got Mick Barry for you here for an interview.
Awesome.
Mister. There's just no need for that.
Hello, Mick.
David.
Mick, I've put you in. You're in the interview channel.
Am
Love
I?
you.
Oh, hello, mate. Sorry.
We
I
dragged
didn't
you in.
realise I'd been moved. Hello, Muddy. You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. How did your race go?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Didn't go great on the first race. I caused a bit of a thing because I tapped someone on that first corner, which span him, and I caused a bit of a pile up. But I was chuffed to beans with the second race, 31st and finishing 9th. And that third race, I had a bit of pace, but I got a couple of little taps and I had a little run in with Chris Knox, but still finished 14th. So love the track. Never ran that setup before on that track. I've never run that one, but really enjoy it. It's nicely flowing, fast corners. Yeah, great track.
A question I've been asking a few people is Chris Knox was testing out his iRacing stunt drive skills today. What did you make of them?
They're great. He's an amazing driver. Don't get me wrong, but I got stuck in with that on race 3 with him, and he ended up taking me out. So it's with the drifting is a little bit off-putting, especially as I'm not a racing driver, and never been on a racing track in my life. So yeah, I find that a little bit off-putting. But I mean, you can't fault his driving skills.
Was the incident with you and Chris, was it going through turn 3 or was it the one in the final corner?
Yeah, it was the one in the final corner. That was the one on the final corner where he went up onto the grass, come around that last corner and up the hill, and he went on the grass, and I was just on the track, and I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he came on track, and we ended up hitting each other, and I went into the barrier on the left-hand side before we crossed the line for the start of the next lap. But at that point, I was in 9th.
In fairness to Chris, I think that last one, I don't think he was trying anything. I think him...
No. I think it was purely accidental.
Yeah.
Purely accidental. But Chris could have just put his foot down and gone, laps before.
True.
But yeah, I mean, amazing driver. But I do find the drifting in front and the showboating, it can be off-putting a little bit when you're not an experienced driver.
So next time he does it, you just have to just give him a little tap while he's mid-drift just to send him round.
Yeah, maybe I should. But thoroughly enjoyable night, I have to say. Really, really enjoyed it.
Well,
Looking forward to watching the stream later.
Oh, it was absolutely crazy from my perspective. But Mick, I'm glad to hear you had a good night, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you very much for the streaming and commentary and everything. It's brilliant, Milky.
No worries at all. Pleasure.
Cheers. Take care, mate.
Right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Right. I think Fiona has joined us, but she is deafened. So that means she can't hear us, and we can't hear her. I am going to drop a message in one of the chats. Oh, well, while we wait for Fiona, Daniel Bristow has joined us. Daniel, that was I'm just going to start off with race 1. That was an incredible battle that you had with Ben.
Yeah, it was proper, mate. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that.
You guys were side by side for so long, and it all came down to the drag to the line. How close was it in the end?
Uh, just yeah, it was just close all the time. Yeah, pretty much.
Um, race
Yeah,
race two, I was gonna say you had a great comeback
uh,
drive. I want to ask you about the
yeah,
incident with Chris because Chris says that he didn't do anything wrong. From my perspective, I think he was in the wrong, but I don't know what it looked like from your POV.
once you're pinched too much, that was sort of self-inflicted. You know, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's only like I had the grass, and then I had Chris. You know, if I pick the grass, I'm gonna spin out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I, I'll also ask as well that final race. I believe you were behind that huge carnage that occurred in turn
yeah,
one.
yeah. I
Was it
realized I
possible
was
to
ranting the
navigate it?
gears. Yeah, some top speed damage maybe. Um, you can tell, you can hear it in the gears.
Okay.
Yeah, but now overall, I actually really enjoyed all three of these races. Yeah, now top notch.
Well, I'm not surprised considering the amount of action that you were able to have in at least the first two
Yeah, yeah.
races.
There's some good stuff in here. I actually enjoy it. It's better than the officials. Yeah,
I've had some mixed experience with the official races anyway, so I'd probably
yeah,
agree with you. Will we be seeing you next
yeah,
week at Brands Hatch?
yeah, definitely. Yeah, Branzach. All right. Yeah, see you all there. Do you drive yourself?
Um, very badly. I might be racing tomorrow. Rumor has it, so I'll see. I'll see.
Oh, okay. All right. All
Um,
right. Well, thanks.
well, no worries, Daniel, and look forward to seeing you next week at Brands.
Yeah, take it steady.
All right.
Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, Daniel. Right, next we have Fiona joining us. Fiona, you had two front row starts today.
Yeah, I was got on that last race. I just went in a little too hot into turn one, and I saw I caused a load of mayhem around me. So I apologise to everybody for that.
It was a
But
huge carnage. Wait till you watch it back on stream because that was amazing, to be honest.
yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it back now the racing's finished. But got a P3 and a P4 in the AM class, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, it was a good drive from yourself. You managed to pick up some points. You looking forward to Brands Hatch next week?
Yeah, looking forward to Brands Hatch. I've not actually raced on the Indy circuit, but
Right.
it's going to be interesting.
Do you think it's going to be as much carnage as what we've seen today, or maybe more?
I think with the way the Indy circuit's laid out, it could be more.
Right, and go on then. I want to hear a prediction. What do you think is going to be your best finishing result next week?
Oh, now you're talking. I'm hoping for top 14 overall,
Okay.
and probably get a P3 again in the AM class, if not better.
Okay, we look forward to that. P3 in the AM class. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to write it down. P3 AM class, right? And next week we'll have an interview, and we'll see if you've met your targets. Almost like a kind of job interview.
yeah, got to look on the positive sides.
Well, Fiona, thank you very much for joining me, and best of luck next week.
Thank you, and thank you for the stream what you put on for us.
No worries at all. It's a pleasure.
Right, see you next week.
All right, see ya. All right, and I believe that is all of our interviews. And I think on that note, ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to bring you the BSR Mazda action tonight. And I think while I'm here, let me do this. I will put generate new link, copy. For those of you wanting to get involved in the BSR Mazda action, you can join the Discord. I've put it down in the server. I believe Ben did say last week that I could put it in. So if you do want to get involved with the Mazda MX5 Championship, then hop on into the server. If you want to stay up to date with all of my commentary stuff, drop a subscription over on YouTube, or maybe follow me on Twitter at MilkyHero73 to stay up to date with all of my commentary action, or just random streaming stuff where sometimes I go on iRacing and murder people, while at the same time trying to say that I'm trying to get to 3K iRating. Who knows? But thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'll catch you all next week. It's been a pleasure.